So we've just seen how the anniversary session of the UN General Assembly brought together leaders from around the globe, setting the stage for key discussions on today's most pressing challenges. But beyond delivering statements from the podium, Central Asian leaders were also busy on the sidelines, holding a series of bilateral meetings that could shape the region's diplomacy for months ahead. And that brings us to our weekly segment, Central Asia in Focus. Joining us is political analyst Ojet Chigirbayev. Ojet, welcome back.
Thank you, Baljan. Always glad to be here.
So let's dive right in. Now, what did you find most noteworthy about Central Asia's role in New York this week?
Well, in addition to their speeches during the high-level debates at the anniversary session of the United Nations General Assembly, the leaders of the Central Asian states held a series of bilateral meetings. So let me walk you through the highlights. Well, President of Uzbekistan, Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev, met with the Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, executives of the Traxxas, the Colorado School of Mines, Fiel Schmidt, McKinsey, Go Green Partners, the whole delegation, BlackRock, the World Bank, and other financial and industrial companies. He also chaired a roundtable with senior representatives of leading U.S. corporations, investment funds, and financial institutions. One of the most significant outcomes was the signing of an $8 billion USD contract with Boeing for the purchase of 22 Boeing 787 Dreamliner aircraft. President of Kyrgyzstan, Mr. Sadir Japarov, held talks with Tony Blair, who pledged to share accumulated expertise in the areas of debureaucratization, implementation of tourism, investment, and banking projects. Meanwhile, President Japarov also met with Sergio Gore, the U.S. Special Representative for South and Central Asia. President of Tajikistan, Mr. Emomali Rahmon, met with the presidents of Vietnam and Portugal, as well as with the UN Secretary General Mr. Antonio Guterres. Kazakhstan is preparing to ratify a protocol on border crossing checkpoints with Kyrgyzstan. Under the protocol, the crossing point Kamyshanovka will be renamed to Aksu-Tamankuchuy. In addition, this checkpoint will begin operating on a 24-hour basis and will be upgraded from a bilateral to a multilateral international status. There are currently 12 crossing points between the two countries, including one railway checkpoint.
At present, the draft law on ratification is under consideration in the Majlis of Kazakhstan. In addition, during the official visit of the President of Kazakhstan to Kyrgyzstan on August 21st and 22nd of this year, a protocol amending the agreement was signed. The amendment provides for the following: changing the operating hours of the Kamyshovka automobile checkpoint from the daylight hours to 24-hour, changing the status of Kamyshovka and Besagash checkpoints from the bilateral to multilateral, renaming the Kamyshovka checkpoint on the Kazakh side to Aksu and on the Kyrgyz side to Temenkuchuy.
Ratification of the protocol is expected to enhance the development of transit and transport potential and strengthen trade and economic relations between Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. It will also help reduce congestion at other automobile checkpoints along the Kazakh-Kyrgyz state border. The expected benefits of the law are projected to be realized within 1 year from the conclusion of the international agreement. On September 23, 2025, Bishkek hosted the third Interparliamentary Forum of Central Asian States under the topic Parliaments of Central Asian Countries: Effective Solutions for the Comprehensive Development of the Region. The event brought together the heads of the parliaments of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. Chairman of the Kazakhstan Senate, Mr. Maulen Ashimbayev, delivered a welcoming address on behalf of President of Kazakhstan, Mr. Kasym-Jomart Tokayev, to the participants of the forum. In his message, the head of state emphasized that the close and friendly relations that have developed between the peoples of the region over the centuries have in recent years reached a new level. This dynamic, he noted, fully aligns with the national interests of the Central Asian countries. On the sidelines of the forum, bilateral meetings of parliamentary leaders were also held, alongside in-depth discussions on new opportunities for cooperation. And overall, although parliamentary cooperation among Central Asian states is a relatively recent phenomenon, it has already demonstrated that inter-regional collaboration is evolving along multiple tracks simultaneously. President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev, has signed a decree authorizing the conduct of a population and agricultural census. The census will take place next year from January 15 to February 28 under the provision of a national commission, which will also include the State Committee on Statistics. The census aims to collect comprehensive data on Uzbekistan's 38 million of citizens. In addition, it will provide insights into the allocation of 25.6 trillion soms spent annually on supporting the country's agro-industrial sector. It should be noted also that the population of Central Asia exceeded 81 million at the beginning of 2024 and also is projected to reach 100 million by 2050. Well, and that's all for today. From my part, Baljan, giving the floor back to you.
Thank you, Rashid, for your highlights of this week. We'll be back with other news in a few seconds.